Okay, Channel 3, we're gonna go live. Let's call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Beard?
Here.
Councilmember Bowie?
Here.
Councilmember Fawn?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jones? Mayor Nguyen?
Yes. Okay, I'd like to invite Mr. Okereke to offer us the invocation. Hi, Mayor Pro Tem Steve Jones. And also lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
All right. All right, dear Lord, as we gather here this evening to deliberate and make decisions on issues before us, provide us with the guidance and wisdom necessary to make the best decisions for this fine community we serve. Amen.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a few presentations tonight.
Carol? Right on time.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm getting papers and cards. Yes, we have a community spotlight recognizing the 2015 Garden Grove College graduates. And Director Kingsley Okereke is going to be doing that presentation.
Thank you, Kathy. Tonight, the City of Garden Grove City Council is pleased to recognize this year's Garden Grove College graduates for having achieved academic success in higher education. Earlier this evening, across the hall, the Mayor and City Council had the opportunity to personally meet, take photograph, and congratulate each graduate in that private reception. The graduates are all local residents. Most of them were born and raised here in Garden Grove. In Garden Grove, we know that higher education or training is more important than ever. There's constant need for highly educated, influential, and well-trained citizens. And the city is proud that these fine men and women are representing our community very well. I'd like to take this time to call each graduate forward, introduce them and their academic degrees. I ask that each of you please come forward as I call you and remain up front after being called, so a group photograph can be taken at the end. Our first graduate, Ken Araki. Is Ken here?
It's probably
Okay.
still eating cupcakes.
Huh? Ken, excuse me, Ken couldn't be here tonight. His proud parents, Kenji and Shoko, are standing in for him. Ken is graduating from UCLA with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Chemical Engineering. Do we have proud parents here? For Ken? All right. Well, next is Shahid Shohan. And Shaheen couldn't be here tonight. Standing in for Shaheen is his mother, Hawa Shahid. Shahid is graduating from UCLA with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Computer Science. Next, I have Jason Krushank. Jason is graduating from Cal State Long Beach with a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, sports medicine. Next, I have Abigail Escobar. Abigail is graduating from UC Riverside with a bachelor's of arts in philosophy. Is Abigail here? Okay. Next, I have Kara Ford. Kara is graduating from Fullerton City College with an Associate of Arts degree in music. And next is Alexis Gelshort. Did I say it right? Gelshort. All right. Alexis is graduating from UCI with a degree in biological sciences and a minor in psychology. Next is Omar Hernandez. Right? Hi, Omar. Omar is graduating from Cal State Fullerton with a degree in science and human services. And next is Jerry Jorgensen. Jerry is graduating from Loyola Marymount University with a Master's of Arts degree in yoga studies. And I have James Kester next. James is a graduate from Kenyon University with a Master's degree in business administration. And next is Ken Lee. Ken is graduating from Cal State University at Los Angeles with a Bachelor's of Science degree in rehab services and a minor in criminal justice. And next is Brittany Mabry. Brittany is graduating from Cal State Fullerton with a Bachelor's of Science degree in political science. Our next graduate is Tina Nguyen. And she couldn't be here tonight. Standing in for her is her mother, Sang. Tina is graduating from Cal State Long Beach with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Healthcare Administration and a minor in Human Resource Management. I have next Shannon Morris. Shannon is graduating from UC Riverside with a double major in Media, Cultural Studies, and French Language Literature. And next on my list is Patricia Rivera. Patricia is graduating from Walden University with a Master's in Science degree in Education. And Brenda Sandoval. Brenda is graduating from Cal State Fullerton with a Bachelor's of Arts degree with an emphasis in Entertainment and Tourism Management. Okay. And next is Jonathan Swam. All right. Jonathan is graduating from Cal Poly Pomona with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Political Science. And I have Robin Talbot. Robin is graduating from Cal Poly Pomona with a Master's of Arts degree in Education. And then there's other Garden Grove graduates who are unable to be here tonight, and they include Joshua and Sharon Butler, Haley Marie Deems, Amy Daly, Lauren Duchamp, Caitlin Lopez, Missy Mendoza, V. Farm, Jennifer Placentia, Danielle and Nicole Van Wegen, Zango Vu, Nathaniel Romero, Christopher Van Holbrook, and Raylene Jean Blusky. I think I get them all. Anybody I left out? An exciting future lies ahead for these Garden Grove graduates and great ambassadors for our Garden Grove community. The city is mighty proud to have such outstanding diplomats in our community. Congratulations and good luck to all of you.
It's behind the city council, so don't go too far out of the picture. Are you going to come up here? Oh, yeah. I don't want to do
You guys are good. Do you think one of you guys can get in front and bend over so Brittany can take your spot? Thank you. Brittany, do you mind stepping in a little bit?
Sorry, guys.
It's like a soccer photo.
Or maybe if you guys turn your line that way.
I can sit on the chair.
1, 2, 3. Thank you, you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Such a diversity of degrees. We can probably solve the world's problems right here. So, 1 week. That's your homework assignment. Okay. We have another presentation on the agenda.
Yes, we have a
we s-
presentation from the Sister City Association of Garden Grove Exchange Student Ambassadors on their recent visit to Anyang, Republic of Korea. Yeah, they're the Sister City.
Okay. What's in the box?
They brought it back from Korea, though.
It passed through customs, so that's good.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and staff. My name is Rishad Murugran. I'm the current president of the Sister Association of Garden Grove. For over 25 years, we have enjoyed and benefited from our relationship with our sister city, Anyang, South Korea. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting an educational and cultural exchange for our city's youth. Our volunteers work to sustain this tradition by fundraising to make this exchange possible for our students. This year, we will be hosting our second annual Strawberry Stomp 5K run, happening just before the City Strawberry Festival Parade on Saturday, May 23rd, as well as raising funds at our yearly fireworks stand in July. Our students have recently returned from Anyang on a 10-day trip, where they were heartily welcomed by their sister city and made lifelong friendships with their host families. They were treated to visits to ancient palaces as well as modern sites such as Kia Motor Factory. They even attended a soccer game and had a blast at the Everland amusement park. They got to experience firsthand the various functions of Anyang City government and met her mayor and city council. The students are here tonight to present a gift to Garden Grove's mayor and city council as a token of Anyang's goodwill and friendship. These students have had the opportunity to learn not only what it is to be a citizen of Garden Grove, but to be a valued citizen in the increasingly globalized world. They serve exceedingly well as our ambassadors and will undoubtedly share and apply their knowledge and experience to benefit and betterment of their community. We truly appreciate the city's continual support for this program. I would also like to personally thank our chaperone this year, Shara Beard and Bernice Flatabo, for taking such good care of our future leaders. At this time, I'd like to call up Daisy Romero to formally present Anyang's gift to the mayor and city council.
Would you guys like to take a
You want to see what's in it?
We can hear it.
Here we are.
Cool.
It is the Divine Bell of King Songgok the Great. I think this is, we can use it, right? Thank you so much.
Cool.
Let's put this over here. All right, we're gonna have to find a nice place for that. They keep giving us gifts.
That does sound better than your baton.
And maybe I can replace my gavel with that. Thank you so much. Yes, please come on up. Welcome back home to Garden Grove.
Come on up to the front over here. So we, yeah, I know. Pictures.
You guys look so worldly since the last time you were here.
Smile. Thank you. Am I on the picture?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Did you learn to say something in Korean?
Yeah, I can say 3, 2, 1.
How do you say it? I want to hear it. Go.
I don't know how to pronounce. I thought how you pronounce it wrong. So it's like
Ha나, do, set.
and then we go kimchi.
Can you say kimchi?
Every picture.
Well, that's useful here in Garden Grove too. Welcome back home. It works. Okay, and we have one more presentation. I am honored to do this. This is in recognition of our interim fire chief, Mr. Warren Hartley. As you all know, we recently announced the hiring of former Deputy Chief of Operations for Fullerton and Brayer Fire Departments, Tom Schultz, as our new Garden Grove Fire Chief. And during the 6-month interim, the fire department has been under excellent leadership of retired Garden Grove Fire Chief Warren Hartley. Chief Hartley has continued the fine tradition of service the Garden Grove Fire Department is well known for. Even though this was a short-term assignment for Chief Hartley, I know it was deeply meaningful to him as well as to all the fire department personnel. We are extremely grateful for his professional knowledge, expertise, and guidance that has helped us arrive at this important point in the permanent administration of our fire department. And so, on behalf of the City Council, I'd like to express our deepest appreciation to Chief Hartley and present him with a Cristo memento in honor of his second round of dedication and service to our city.
Thank you, Corey. Not many people get to do this. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Sure. Cool. I'm in for whatever. And my new best friend, Tom. I wish he was here. We good?
Yes. On the count of 3, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Hartley.
If I could, I would just like to thank all of you for your support during this period. And I hope I was a little bit helpful in returning us to morality, honesty, and integrity at this point. And thanks to the support of the men in blue, the men in black, we were able and successful to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, Chief Hartley.
Oh,
Oh, the lid. The lid. I was just going to put it in a plastic bag. Thanks,
Okay. So at this time, we'll recess the council meeting and convene the Housing Authority.
Commissioner Beckles?
Present.
Commissioner Bowie?
Yes?
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Here.
Commissioner Fawn?
Here.
Vice Chair Beard?
Here.
Chair Wynn?
Here. I think we have Josh McIntosh, are you for the Housing Commission? Negative. Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
those are all for council.
Okay, thank you. In that case, consent items?
The consent item is receive and file the Housing Authority status report for March 2015.
Great, thank you.
Move it. Second.
Please vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Okay, at this time, do we have any matters from commissioners, directors? None? I will adjourn the Housing Authority. The next Housing Authority meeting is held on Tuesday, May 26, 2015 at 6:30 right here at the Community Meeting Center.
Okay, see you May 26th.
Okay, take care. Make your wife know.
Oh, yeah. She gave out there, too. She's a teacher.
Okay, let's reconvene the City Council meeting. And public comments.
We will also be convening the Successor Agency and Sanitary District for Rural Communications.
Thank you. Josh McIntosh.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, and residents of Garden Grove. Tonight will be really short and sweet. I'm just here to plug a couple of events. First off, June 13th is the annual Garden Grove High School all-class reunion and picnic. That will begin at 11 o'clock, right across the street from us here at Garden Grove High School, home of the Argonauts, and formerly the Chili Peppers. We'd like to invite all former graduates and maybe a few Lake Flakes that didn't make it to attend and get back together and see old friends, walk through the hallways, run down Golden Fleece, and reminisce, and of course enjoy some good music, which I'll be providing again. And I hope to see you all there. Once again, that's June the 13th at Garden Grove High School. Next, just a little observation. I was once again a home pride judge this year, and we just wrapped up selecting all the most beautiful homes in the city again. And I noticed this year we had a lot more drought-tolerant yards. I wanted to thank every Garden Grove resident who is making alterations to their lawn, reducing grass and turning that into native vegetation. Thank you all very much for taking steps to help out with this drought. I know that'll be a part of discussion tonight, and I'd like to encourage everyone to do their part. I just redid my backyard with help from a lot of good friends, a lot of good people in this neighborhood. So with that, I thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Peter Katz for both 16A and also 18A.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. For 16A, Audrey Pecor is in the audience here, and she served with me on the Main Street Commission when I chaired that commission, and it's just such an honor to name that parking lot after her husband, who did so much to preserve Main Street long before Garden Grove became a city. And he owned a lot of businesses on Main Street, and he purchased those parking lots with a bunch of his friends and saved them for the city, and dedicated them to the city so that there would be parking for the businesses on Main Street. And so to get this done, when I left the Main Street Commission, I was determined to have something to honor his memory, and it's only fitting that this parking lot be named after him as a historical marker and as a teaching mechanism where we can put a little Garden Grove's history on there. So when our tourists come down here, they can learn something about Garden Grove. So I'm very pleased to see this on the agenda. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the other issue I want to talk about is the resolution on the Vietnam War. Richard Nixon once said, No event in American history is more misunderstood than the Vietnam War. It was misunderstood then, and it is misunderstood now. In April of 1975, General Van Tien Dung was the NVA, North Vietnamese Army Commander-in-Chief, and he had been since 1953, and he defeated the French at the Dien Bien Phu. His military tactics are taught at the War College in Scranton, Pennsylvania today. But he was able to break through the Central Highlands armed forces of the South Vietnamese Army and marched all the way to Saigon. And Saigon fell on April 30th, 1975, ending 30 years of continuous warfare in Vietnam. Mr. Mayor, I want to personally thank you for attending the ceremony on Saturday for the 40th anniversary of the fall of Saigon. It was quite an honor to see you there, and all of the comrades that were there to honor that sad event in world history. But it's richly rewarding. A Vietnamese woman with her 15-year-old daughter, I was standing talking to a couple of my friends, came up and gave me a great big hug, and she said, "I want to thank you very much. I would not be here today, and my lovely daughter would not be here today if it was not for soldiers like you guys." So it brought tears to my eyes, and when I carried that wreath on the stage, and I looked at the mayor, and I looked at the people out there and thought about what a wonderful country we have. And look at all you guys up here. But I just want to reflect a few things here. I saw in the audience there was Mayor Dieppe from Westminster, Young Kim, Assembly District from Fullerton. This is the patchwork of the American quilt, and I can think of Dolly Parton's song, A Coat of Many Colors. It wasn't the patches or the colors, but it was a strong thread that bound us together, and this is the American quilt. And so many people sacrificed. Let me give you some statistics. Besides the 58,000 American soldiers that lost their lives in Vietnam, 1 million Vietnamese soldiers lost their lives. 4 million civilians lost their lives. In 1973, the peace accord was signed in Paris. In 1974, August, Richard Nixon resigned. Gerald Ford became president. In December 1974, the North Vietnamese broke the accord and advanced into the province, northern province of Vietnam, and continued to march all the way to Saigon. Gerald Ford was handicapped because Congress had cut off funding for the war, and he had no way of stopping the advance. ARVN fought very fiercely. It's a misnomer about the strength of the South Vietnamese army. They were very fierce fighters. As a matter of fact, 2,000 years of Chinese rule, the Vietnamese defeated some of the fiercest warlords in history. "3,000 Vietnamese escaped by helicopter on April 29th and April 30th, but 400 were left behind." This was called the Ho Chi Minh Campaign that advanced on Saigon. There were 49 million people in Vietnam then. There is 90 million today. 1 million boat people settled in the United States. These people are part of the American fabric. 2.64 million U.S. personnel served from January 1960 to March 1973. 1.6 million in combat or combat support or exposed to attack. 8.2 million service members, or 1/3 of all armed force personnel today, fought in Vietnam. And then, closing, if you bear with me a couple moments here.
You got the yellow light?
Yes, I understand that. Just give me a couple extra moments here. 1/3 of the officers of the North Vietnamese were women. As a matter of fact, the chief negotiator, when Tin Bin negotiated the Paris Peace Accords for the National Liberation Front. But 7,484 women fought in Vietnam. Of that, 6,250 were nurses, or 82.5%, including Judge Eileen Moore, who sits on the California 4th District Court of Appeals. 10 were killed in service, 56 civilian were killed, including 37 that were killed in an airlift of Vietnamese refugees and orphans. The South Vietnamese Army, almost 80% had a high school diploma. 50,000 children that were fathered by American soldiers were brought to the United States. So this is a war that we have to reflect on. And Mr. Mayor, I would hope that you would adjourn this meeting in honor of all those that suffered, served, and did so much to make this country so great, including the 23,000 French soldiers that lost their lives in Vietnam. Freedom is never free. It cost $8.4 million to build the Vietnam National Mall in Washington, but that money was raised by 274,000 American individuals, and that is a fitting memory. Thank you for the extra time.
Thank you, Mr. Katz. Charles Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and staff. It seems that no matter what we do, as long as we survive, we get older. And this is typical of our society. We are aging. We are reaching the point now where many people are not able to take care of themselves. They live in assisted living facilities. They try to get to social events, but unfortunately, they must rely on the help of friends and neighbors and their families to get them to the places they need to go and the places they'd like to visit, including areas in our beautiful city and in other areas of Orange County. There is a program with the Orange County Transportation Authority that provides low-cost transportation for people with disabilities. And they can be picked up by a van or through the yellow cab company that works with OCTA, and for a very low fee can be taken anywhere that they need to go. So I'd like to let people know that this is available to them, and to get more information, they can call OCTA at 714-560-OCTA or 6282. We have a lot of buildings in Garden Grove that have been dedicated to individuals. We dedicated a library recently. There are many kinds of heroes that we admire. Some of them are military heroes. Some of them are civic heroes. One of those civic heroes was Malcolm Pecor, who was instrumental in preserving our historic Main Street. On the agenda is a dedication of a small portion of Main Street in memory of Malcolm Pecor. And I urge the council to please approve the dedication of that parking lot in the honor of Malcolm Pecor. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew Halberstadt.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. My name is Andrew Halberstadt, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Garden Grove Main Street Commission to ask for your support in the recommendation from both the previous commission and the current commission that you rename the parking lot north of the Globe and south of Motorsport Cafe after Malcolm Pecor. As you've heard from both Mrs. Mitchell and Katz, the man was a true patron of Main Street. He deserves nothing less than a memorial on a street that he loved so much. So 16A is around the corner, but I was hoping if there's a possibility of moving it up for the benefit of Mrs. Pecor, so she doesn't have to sit here through the rest of the presentation.
Absolutely.
Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. I don't see any more cards. So, let's see. Any responses, replies? Okay. No written communications. In that case, before we move on to Sanitary District, I'd like to move item 16A to the front of our agenda here. Is there a staff report for that? Okay. Mr. Murray, please make your way into the chambers.
Actually, it's going to be Anna Neal.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, in January 2015, the Main Street Commission voted for City Council to designate the easterly parking lot at 12916 Main Street between the Motorsports Cafe and the Globe as a Malcolm L. Pecor Memorial Plaza. The proposed parking lot is owned by the city, and although there are no set guidelines for naming such parking lots, Council Policy Number 700-04, titled Guidelines for Naming Parks, could be applied to the Commission's request. Under these guidelines, spaces can be named after deceased persons, provided they were highly regarded by the community and were of local significance. Some of Mr. Pecor's accomplishments include being a World War II veteran, and being a charter member of the Downtown Business Association and a founding member of the Main Street Parking District, contributing over 60 years of civic involvement. If approved, City Council members will be invited to an honorary plaque ceremony to be conducted at a later date set by the Commission. This concludes my report, and I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the commissions for bringing this forward. Shall we move?
I'd like to move it.
Second it.
Please vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Thank you. And thank you, Mrs. Pecor, for being here. All right. So at this point, I will recess to the Sanitary District.
Successor first, Steve? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so Successor Agency, Madam Clerk, would you like to call roll?
Member Bowie?
Here.
Member Nguyen?
Yes.
Member Fawn?
Here.
Vice Chair Beard?
Here.
Chair Jones?
Here. Consent items, we just have approval of the warrants. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve. Move to. Second it.
Call the vote?
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Do we have any matters from agency members?
Do we have a update on the current construction at the water park hotel, Great Wolf, anything like that?
I could just speak to the fact that just several weeks ago, we had a big topping off ceremony out there, which is a fancy construction term for kind of reaching the halfway mark or finishing all the structural work, which means from here on out, it's going to be putting together all the walls and the interiors and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's a big milestone. They're on track, they're on target, they're on budget, everything's moving forward. It's going to be done by around the end of this year.
Okay, thanks.
We will adjourn to Sanitary District. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Member Bowie?
Here.
Member Jones?
Here.
Member Nguyen?
Yes.
Vice President Beard?
Here.
President Fawn?
Here.
We have one item for consideration.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We also need to call into session the city council for this matter.
Oh, okay.
So, ta-da, you guys are there.
So this is a joint matter for city council and sanitary district.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll convene a city council meeting.
You want me to do roll again?
No, I really don't.
We're all here.
Witness.
Number 11A is a joint matter for City Council and Garden Grove Sanitary District. It's awarding a contract to Corolla Engineers for engineering services for project number 7360, and Bill Murray is here to give that staff report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Baylor. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and the sanitary district. Tonight we have a joint matter for the city council and the sand district. Staff has asked for the city council to award a contract to Carrillo Engineers for the design of water and sewer improvements on Ward Street. Staff is also asking that the sanitary district approve the council award of the contract to Carrillo Engineers and appropriate funds for the district's portion of the project. The costs are $244,000 for the water design and $45,000 for the sewer design, for a total of almost $289,000. The design work is for a new 7,200-foot-long water line to improve the flyer flow on Ward Street. And we're also going to be upgrading 2 sewer lines totaling about 800 feet on Ward Street as well. The existing facilities have been identified as deficient in both the sewer and water master plans. Earlier this year, staff requested 4 proposals from qualified firms, but only received 3. Those 3 proposals were evaluated, and it was determined that Carrillo Engineering was the highest rated. Staff negotiated a contract, and should the award be made tonight, the construction drawings and other deliverables should be complete by February of next year. This concludes staff's report, and I'm available should you have any questions.
Thank you.
Bill, what's the lifetime expectancy for this whole project? Another 50 years or so, or how long do you think?
That's our hope.
Okay.
Probably about 20 for the water and up to 50 for the sewer.
Thank you. All right. May I have a motion to?
I'd like to move it.
Second.
Call for vote, please.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Do we have any matters from the board? Seeing none, we'll adjourn the sanitary district and we'll reconvene on Tuesday, May 26th at 6:30 here at the community center. Back to council.
All right. We have some items on consent. I'd like to pull 14A and have staff speak on what the Stage 2 water alert is all about. We have the balance.
I'll move the balance.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Mr. Murray for 14A.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Tonight I'm being joined by Katie Victoria. She's an analyst in the Water Division. And tonight, council is being asked to adopt a resolution declaring a Stage 2 water alert, imposing certain mandatory water conservation measures pursuant to Title 14, Chapter 40 of the city's municipal code. Stage 2 is required for the city to best meet the governor's mandatory executive order B-29-15, which was issued on April 1st. Highlights of the new conservation measures are lawn watering and landscape irrigation is only permitted on designated irrigation days before 10 a.m. and after 6 p.m. The state is requiring that water be done only 2 times a week. Washing of vehicles is permitted only on those same days, before 6 a.m. and after 6 p.m. Such washing shall be done by the use of a handheld container, which will be a bucket, or a handheld hose with a shut-off nozzle. Filling or refilling of swimming pools is permitted only on the designated days, before 6 a.m. and after 6 p.m. So this is basically just you're doing all your irrigation, washing and stuff at night. Additionally, we have watering of parks, schools, grounds, and recreational fields they're only permitted from 6 a.m. or between 6 a.m. and after 6 p.m. I'm sorry, before 6 a.m. and after 6 p.m. Restaurants also shall not serve water to their customers except when requested. and the operation of ornamental fountains is prohibited. That's kind of the highlight of all those changes in Stage 2. Should this resolution be adopted, staff will advertise the requirements in our local papers, and will mail an informational flyer out to our ratepayers so that they're aware of the new provisions. Council should note that the state regulations are constantly changing, and staff has identified the need to revise our water conservation ordinance, and we'll be doing that in the near future and bringing that to you. This concludes staff's report, and I'm available should you have any questions.
For the notices that go out to residents, will that be in all, I guess, the major languages spoken?
3 major languages:
What are those?
Spanish, Vietnamese, and English.
Okay. So that
And Korean.
And Korean.
4.
So 4 languages. All right. The ornamental fountain, if it's recycling the water, you still can't use it?
Operation of ornamental fountains is prohibited, Mayor.
Okay. I don't have one. I like them. All right. These are some tight restrictions on us.
Yes, and this is just Stage 2. We have up to Stage 4.
And enforcement?
All of the enforcement is provided in the water ordinance. It's progressive enforcement, where we essentially start with a letter, a written notice, and the individual will have a 24 hours to correct a violation. Progressive enforcement can occur after that, including installing a flow restriction device and or shutting off the water. So that's what we have in our ordinance to be able to enforce these regulations.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Please vote.
Most received 5 yes votes.
Thank you. And I'm going to open a public hearing right now for 15A.
15A is the Spring 2015 Weed Rubbish Abatement Notices Protest Hearing, and Tang Nguyen from the Fire Department is here to present. Oh, nope, it's now Jeff Sparker, sorry.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, the purpose of tonight's public hearing is regarding the notices that were sent to property owners in March of 2015. It is recommended that council receive testimony from the members of the public and take appropriate action. Those actions would be: 1, uphold any objections and direct staff as to how the council would like to respond to the said objections. 2, overrule the objections and direct staff to proceed with the weed abatement process. 3, if no objections, direct staff to proceed with the weed abatement process. Notices were sent out on March 11th. Owners had until April 11th to clear the lots. Our fire marshal inspected the properties on April 13th and found 9 parcels not to be compliant. And if directed, we will have the city contractors begin clearing the lots April 29th. And they have 30 days to complete that process. Staff is available for any questions.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing now. Any members of the public wishing to speak during this public hearing, please step forward. Hearing and seeing none, I'm going to close this public hearing. Okay. Thank you. Shall we move?
Move to
Move
approve.
it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please vote. Okay, thank you.
Most received 5 yes votes.
Item 16?
It's already done.
Yeah, already did.
I'm sorry.
Go
That's
to
right.
17.
Item 17.
It's an amendment to Chapter 5.12 of the Municipal Code regarding massage regulations, and City Attorney Thomas Nixon is here to give a report.
Mayor and members of the City Council, before the City Council this evening is a proposed update of the city's massage regulations. New state legislation now authorizes the city to regulate massage establishments, essentially overriding legislation from 2008 that severely restricted the city's ability to do that. The proposed ordinance is the result of a joint effort by the Police Department, the Finance Department, and the City Attorney's Office. It is designed to promote the operation of legitimate massage establishments and prevent the operation of those that are fronts for prostitution and human trafficking. Some of the important provisions of the ordinance include the following items. Each person providing massage services must be certified to do so by the state-created California Massage Therapy Council. Each massage establishment must obtain an operator permit from the city. Applications for operator permits will be processed by the police department and will include comprehensive background checks. An operator permit application may be denied if the owner or employees have been convicted of prostitution-related offenses, certain drug offenses, or have operated a massage establishment illegally elsewhere. The ordinance includes operational requirements that the business be conducted as a sanitary facility, including having clean equipment and supplies. Hours of operation are proposed to be limited to 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sexual misconduct in providing massage services is prohibited. Employees providing massage services must be appropriately dressed. Massage patrons must be appropriately covered. Specified medical and other professionals that are regulated under state law are exempt from these regulations. The city may revoke operator permits if there's a failure to comply with the regulations, and violation of the regulations may subject the violator to criminal prosecution, civil actions, and administrative fines. The title of the ordinance is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove amending Chapter 5.12 of Title 5 of the Garden Grove Municipal Code relating to massage regulations, and it is recommended that the City Council introduce the ordinance and pass it to the second reading. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you do have any.
I have one. Even though I'm not using the massage services, but I can relate it that people who could use this might, might eat late dinner at 7 or sometime at 7:30, and so they just finish eating meal. And they probably will not would like to let the food settle down a little bit and come to the massage parlor. And so I think if we limited the number of operation, the hour operation to 9 p.m., it might be a difficulty for those people. I think 10 p.m. would be more appropriate. And I would like to understand what is the rationale that we would use to limit the hour from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Is that a good rationale, or it's just something that we just pick out of the as a normal business hour for other businesses?
I'd be happy to have Chief Elgin address that. The limitation on hours, the specific one came from the police department. It is certainly within the discretion of the City Council to establish the time.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I think in this instance, we looked at industry giants with regard to the massage industry. So we looked at places like Burke Williams, Massage Envy, Hand and Stone, and we felt that legitimate business practices and those types of massage establishments, even hotel establishments, that most of those businesses do close by 9 o'clock. The concern obviously is what the city attorney spoke of with regard to some of the illegal activities that go on with regard to the massage in the city that we're well aware of within the police department. Excuse me. And so we are concerned that the later these establishments stay open, that it opens open for business, that it does lend to that type of activity when you talk about a lot of people getting out of the bars are starting to close 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And so it's been our experience that in order to legitimize the business and the business practices, that we felt 9 o'clock was a reasonable time frame.
Question for you, Chief. You could choose not to answer it. Do you know of any of your friends or officer or you would use the massage services from sometime, and would you sometimes have a need to do that well after you just eat dinner, so that it doesn't cause problem for for food in your stomach?
I don't have any friends, that I'm not aware of anybody that currently uses massage services, but I certainly understand, your point and your concerns about it, so I just can't speak to that directly.
Okay.
I have a question regarding how many businesses in Garden Grove now would be affected by this particular change?
Currently, we have 25 massage parlors that have been permitted to operate in the city. We have another 14 that do not have permits that we are in the process of trying to get them to shut down the business. And as of late, we've closed 5 due to a lack of these permits.
Okay.
So currently, we have a total operating currently today, total of approved and denied businesses. We have approximately 39 or 40 operating massage parlors in the city today.
The current ones that are permitted, what do their hours go till?
That, I can't answer that question now. I don't have the hours of operation, so I can't answer that question.
But presumably, is it later than 9, so this was restricting them back?
I can't answer that. I don't have the answer to that.
Has the owners who are operating legally been notified of this proposed change in the ordinance, and were they given an opportunity to come and present their side or any statements they may want to give?
To my knowledge, no.
I think we should give them.
Well, this is the first reading. If we are to make any changes, we'd have to have another first reading. Is that correct, Mr. City Attorney?
Well, if you made a change this evening, you could conduct the first reading this evening. But if, in fact, you pass this to the second reading and then at the next meeting decided to make a substantive change, then we would need to redo the first reading again, excuse me.
Mr. Roeder?
Mr. City Attorney, would changing the hour in which businesses are required to close be a substantive change?
I would consider that a substantive change, yes.
Okay.
It would basically only be clerical type matters that you wouldn't have to do a new reading for.
Well, the argument, to conform with the norms of business hours for massage, legitimate massage operations and businesses makes sense to me. I don't have a problem supporting the time that's been presented by staff and the research that staff has done. So, Mr. Beard?
Yeah, is there anything on the books right now related to time frames for any massage parlors in the city?
I'm not sure what the time is currently on the books, but I know it's difficult for us to monitor, obviously, because there's so many of them in the city. So I can tell you that they close at all hours of the evening, and so it's difficult to say exactly what those times are pertaining to each individual business.
Yeah, the reason why I asked, I was on a ride-along, and one of the officers stopped in and noted that the time was beyond the established time for the business. So I thought maybe there's something already on the books related to the time.
For an ordinance?
A little bit of research here. Okay.
The hours proposed are the current hours that are listed in the ordinance today.
Okay.
So currently, we prohibit the operation between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. So just so I understand, so we approve the first reading tonight. There'll be a chance for any affected businesses to come and speak their piece, and then after that, we can finalize the ordinance. Is that correct?
Certainly, anyone could come at the next meeting and speak at oral communications and present any concerns at that time.
Do we historically give notice to the business owners to come and speak about this if they're affected? I would like to give them the chance for due process.
I also would like to not just based on the industry norm, but really take a look at the massage parlor elsewhere and see, what do they use? Because I know some of my friends who use it, sometimes they go out at 9 o'clock. And so I do not know how late they close, but I know they come out at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and they have an hour massage. So, I would like to get the fact before I would be able to make my decisions.
Okay, so we don't necessarily have to, there's no requirement to notice these business owners. There's quite a few of them, and there are some who are already operating illegitimately.
There are several bad operators within the city, and that's what we're trying to control.
Yeah, so I think, by moving and approving this first reading, that there'll be enough buzz in the community to let folks know. And, from the media, I imagine, will write about this. And folks will hear about it. And if they're really serious and they're legit, then they would come and share their perspectives with us.
Well, if there are only a couple dozen, right? If what I heard, like some 20.
25. Well, legitimately, 25 are open, legitimately.
Even 40.
Right.
That's not a big deal to send out 40 mail to them and invite them about this ordinance and invite them to, give their comment. I think that's only fair to give them a chance to, give their input and we can, it's always good to have a lot of information and then we can act on it rather than, have limited information to base our decision on.
I think we're not opposed. We're not opposed to listening to it. Our concern is obviously some of the activities that go on within these establishments, and it's not just in Garden Grove. We're starting to see this phenomenon where these massage parlors are opening all over the county. So we're certainly open to listen to what they have to say, but this is all in an effort to try to get a handle on this. And I think we've kind of laid off these massage parlors up to this point because we knew this new massage ordinance was coming. We knew it was going to have some restrictions in it that would help us regulate, do a better job at regulating these massage businesses moving forward. Since in the past that every time we would try to regulate them, we'd shut them down, they'd either open up with a new owner or they'd move to a new location and open up. So this ordinance hopefully is going to allow us to deal with these bad operators in the future and hopefully legitimize the profession of massage therapy within the city.
So what the action, are we going to inform them or we are not? And do we have to make the ruling or?
I would suggest, I'm all in favor of what you just said and tightening up and, kind of following through on this. I don't see a problem in doing a one-step delay to let the ones who are legitimately operating with permits have a chance to speak and comment on whether these amended changes are somehow restrictive to the success of their business or not. I mean, we don't want to punish the ones who are trying to operate legally with permits and that sort of thing. We want to weed out the ones that are doing the wrong thing. So I would suggest we continue it, notice the 25 or however many known permitted ones, and bring it back and have a do-over.
Good.
For a point of clarification, the legitimate operators are currently operating till 9 p.m., which is the current time, and we just verified that with our city attorney.
But there might be other restrictions that
Sure.
buried into this.
Sure. Okay. So why don't we table this and have the first reading next time, and if we can, let folks know that we will have a ordinance on our next agenda that will affect the business of massage
Should we do
therapy.
I'll do a motion to continue. Thank you. Do we want to do that to a date certain, or how do you want to do it?
My suggestion would be to continue it to the next meeting. I think that we can get notices out to all of the affected parties this week, and that should give them time to review them and have the opportunity to come back and make any comments.
Okay, sounds good. That's my motion.
Second it.
Please vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay. 18, some matters from mayor, city council members, city manager.
I have one.
Okay, we have two. You want to speak after we do 18B?
All right.
Okay. So the first is a resolution commemorating the 40th anniversary of the fall of Saigon and the end of the Vietnam War, as I requested. You've all had an opportunity to read it over?
In fact, I did present this resolution to the Black April anniversary on the U.S. Midway, and thank you, Mayor Bao, for coming up with this resolution. I have been busy and I did not have a chance to give my input, but had I done that, I would like to add a couple more things into it. But since you already presented at the U.S. Midway, I think this is fine. We just need to, I would really thank you for taking your effort to come up with this resolution.
Sure. You presented it before we voted on it?
I thought, the city asked me to present it.
Okay.
So I thought that was
sure, all right.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it was simply a timing matter, and we know how strongly as a council and the community feels, so we exercised our best discretion.
Sounds good. All right.
Forward-looking.
Move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, yeah.
Please vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Great, thank you. And thank you for representing us on the USS Midway at that ceremony. I saw photos in the register. Looked really nice. The second item, 18B, is a resolution supporting the campaign to take on hate, as I requested. This is, I'll just read some of the whereases briefly and the resolved for the public. Whereas the City of Garden Grove supports and protects all its citizens, no matter their religion and ethnicity. And whereas we support the campaign to take on hate and commit to calling out hate and discrimination when we see it, and help promote our core American value that no one should be targeted because of the faith and or ethnicity. And I'll go down to resolve that the City of Garden Grove publicly endorses the mission of the campaign to take on hate and agrees to protect all its citizens and families, no matter their religion or ethnicity, and therefore be it resolved that we are proud to stand with all Americans regardless of their ethnicity or religion and stand against those who preach hate and incite violence.
I'll move it.
Second it.
Please vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Great. Mr. Bui.
Thank you, Mayor. 2015 bears a sad and tragic sentimental for millions of Vietnamese all over the world, and some 70,000 Vietnamese American here in Garden Grove. But let me go back a little bit in history. 50 years ago, in 1954, more than a million Vietnamese living in North Vietnam frantically tried to escape the communist Vietnam who took over the North in 1954. And they settled their life in South Vietnam because they want to live in a free country. And shortly after that, the North communists invade South Vietnam. And what came afterwards is in 1963, the U.S. military got involved to try to help bring the South Vietnam military up to par, because the North communists was being helped by the China and by Russia military. We appreciate that, and we appreciate the sacrifice that 58,000 U.S. soldiers have made the ultimate sacrifice to defend South Vietnam, and thousands and thousands more was wounded. Fast forward in 1954, 2 days from today, Thursday, April 30th, is the 40th anniversary for the Black April for the Vietnamese. And on that day, in 1954, 40 years ago, the capital of South Vietnam fell into the communist hand. Five generals and countless of officers and soldiers took their own life because they do not want to surrender. As I put myself into their shoe, I kept wondering what's going on in their mind now that they realize they can no longer defend the people, the poor people surrounding them. They can no longer defend their family, their wife and their children. It's such a tragic. And I put myself in the hand of the mothers, of the wife, whose husband, a general, an officer, just took their own life. What going on her mind as the man who she depended on is no longer there to help them and their children. And shortly after, a couple of weeks after that, thousands and thousands of South Vietnam officers was jailed in concentration camps for a dozen years for no reason at all. And shortly after that, 2 million Vietnamese, both people tried to escape the country. We never see that in the 4,000 years that Vietnam history. Even though we were invaded by the Chinese, invaded by the French, but we never leave our country. But here we see 2 million people try to escape, risking their own life. In fact, according to the United States Nation estimate, only 35% made it to land. So you see more than 1 million perished under the sea or in the jungle. And those who made it to the island, to Indonesia, to Thailand, to land, many of them, thousands and thousands, women, young girls, were subject to the cruelty of the pirates who prey upon them. I and my family are the very lucky one. I was 17 years old, and my family, all of us together, were able to escape out to the open sea. I can still remember that day vividly. I was 17 and I thought the war is going to end upon us because my family also tried to escape the north, and we were afraid that they will prey upon us for abandon the north and fled to the south. So, and I thought the American have abandoned us. We are left by ourselves. But as I escape out to the open sea, as I get out to the international waters, I saw huge cargo ship anchor out there in the ocean, waiting to pick up anyone who dare and who would be make it out to the international water. Each cargo ship, instead of having container, each cargo ship have about 10,000 Vietnamese. As we climb up to the rope to the deck, and as they fill up with us, we don't have. There is no space for us to lie down, just enough space for us to sit. But we were so fortunate. We felt that we are the blessed one, the one who are able to escape. The ship took us 2 weeks all the way to Worms, and then from there we go on to various refugee camp, usually military base. In the summer of July 1975, my family bought a jet to Minneapolis in the middle of the night. We landed about 11 p.m. And so we was ushered to a small van, a family of 10 people, to a small home. As I get into that house, it was so beautiful, and in the morning, when I look outside, green grass everywhere, tree was so beautiful lining up the streets with squirrel climbing up and down the tree. And I look out in the window, I thought I was in heaven. But what touched me the most is that even though the U.S. government abandoned us, but the U.S., the American people, the everyday folk, they did not abandon us. They opened their arms, take us in, take us around, show us a new life, try to be friends with us. And I was told that the assistant pastor of a Christian church that took us in, he moved out of his small 2-bedroom home so that we have a place to live for about 2 months until the church can rent us an apartment. I thought, who on earth would open their home, their beautiful home, to a foreigners who they do not know how they live? Will they wreck their home, damage their house? And so I thought the American people, and I would like to share it with you today, the American people are the most generous people in the world. Because if it is the other way around, I might not have that big heart. I know I have a good heart, but I don't know if it is that big. And so I would like to commend you for your charity spirit. And it is that spirit that guides me through community services. And I try to live a useful life, giving back for what others have given me. So on this day, I would like to note a tragic sentimentals that our people have suffered, but also on a positive note about how generous the American people are. And let move forward. Let's try to help others when we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowie. Other members?
I couldn't top that.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I second what he says.
Well, I just want to thank you. Again, I just want to share a few things. The pushcart derby was so much fun. Seeing all the kids out there and their parents and just the community. And you just feel it in the air. I was just so honored to have been invited by PAC 271 for asking me to judge. I don't know who won, so I still need to find out. But there are really some impressive ones out there. And just I just felt kind of young again. Just very that Americana feel, right? And I actually sat in one. Okay, I won't go there. All right. Also, I want to thank the Rotary Club for the invitation for great production at our local gem, our little gem off of historic Main Street for Anything Goes. It's a great musical. Definitely encourage those to go check it out. Also, the Silver Spoons Awards. I don't see Maria here, but Maria Stipe, our deputy city manager, but I want to congratulate her and her husband for winning, what is that, the cutest couple award or something like that. And also all the honorees that were recognized that day. Volunteerism in Garden Grove is a huge part of our city. And it's so great that the women's division of the Chamber of Commerce does that luncheon annually to recognize, those that are really leaders who love our city so much that they volunteer and they dedicate their time to our city. And there's been so many events on the commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the fall of Saigon. There are more to come. There's another one coming up on the 30th. It's at 6:30 at 14180 All American Way in Westminster. I'll be at that one. And there's lots going on month of April here. And just want to thank all my colleagues and Councilmember Bowie for sharing your story. I think, it may, city council meetings, I know it may not be, the space, kind of to share our stories and whatnot, but it's a part of who we are as a city, and we all have these stories. I think, when we share them, it really bridges the connection between us. So I really appreciate that. With all that, City Manager?
Yes, sir.
See, I didn't forget you tonight. With that, I'd like to adjourn in honor of all of those who have served for freedom and for our great country.